I was trying to decide in my mind how I should start off this review and concluded that since it was 13th Doctor themed, I should maybe introduce myself with "Hiya fam," but I concluded that wasn't a good idea. But hey ho, we've said it now. Welcome back to another Doctor Who product review. In today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at one of the latest Steelbook releases, which is of course the complete Doctor Who Series 12, featuring all 10 episodes of the second season of 13th Doctor Adventures that aired on the BBC in early 2020, as well as the bonus disc, which does of course feature the New Year's Day special from 2019, being Resolution to feature the return of the Daleks. This is an Amazon exclusive Steelbook, which is available to be purchased now and is a limited edition release. So if you are a fan of the 13th Doctor, and in particular a fan of Doctor Who Steelbooks, I no doubt recommend keeping an eye on this one over the next few months and making sure that you purchase it before it sells out entirely, because for some reason Steelbooks seem to be very, very collectible indeed. So as I mentioned, this is in fact a brand new release. I think it came out around a month ago, something like that, and the recommended retail is £49.99. Nearly 51p off 50 quid. I didn't spend that much money on this product. Thankfully, it got put on sale down to £37. However, thankfully, I had a £20 Amazon gift voucher and then spent the remaining £17. So this in fact technically only cost me 17 quid. Thankfully, this Steelbook does have a slightly more visually exciting cover art compared to that of Doctor Who Series 11, which I did review back when that was released a number of years ago, and you may recall I wasn't particularly impressed by it because it was that standard silhouette of the 13th Doctor on the hill. It had the Doctor Who logo printed on the front along with complete season 11 or whatever it was, which completely defeated the objective of a Steelbook to me, as they're normally completely textless with the exception of the spine. However, thankfully this time round we have something much more positive to take a look at, which admittedly in fact presents Series 12 in a rather positive, shiny, orange light. Also, as a brief side note, as this is a 13th Doctor review, if you are interested by my opinions of Doctor Who Series 12 and the individual episodes, or every episode of the 13th Doctor so far for that matter, I have reviewed each individual story in their own 20-minute plus reviews, and I recommend checking those out to get my general opinion of the series and the 13th Doctor era so far. As with all Doctor Who Steelbooks, this product does of course come packaged in a cardboard slipcase with a continuation of the cover into the background. In front of the rather vibrant background, we have the inclusion of the BBC and Doctor Who logo, as well as stating that this is the complete 12th series, plus the Resolution special. This product is 5 discs and does also feature a 12 rating. Flipping around to the back of the packaging, we do have some further production details, including of course the company information at the very bottom, as well as the feature-length running time for this series, and of course a reuse of the cover art, including the companions being Yaz, Ryan and Graham. At the very top we do also have a little bit of a write-up about the series, which you can pause and read if you so wish. And just below this we have the special features bubble. You know that thing on the classic complete season box sets that is normally packed to the brim with lots of additional features from documentaries and visual effects and interviews. Well, this time round we have closer looks, audio commentaries, what to expect in Series 12, you know, that series that you've possibly just purchased for 50 quid off Amazon, as well as a Series 11 look back in case you have forgot what happened in that season, some behind the scenes, and a Dalek Reformed talking about the new design of Dalek. And that's it. That's all we've got. I think that these lists are getting smaller and smaller, which is a shame, but hey, we'll be discussing that a little bit later on in this review. Following a rather similar theme to the Series 11 Steelbook, and a nice inclusion for this product, is the addition of some art cards featuring all the main members of the TARDIS team from the set of publicity images that were of course used prior to the airing of Doctor Who Series 12 under the Space for All slogan. Of course this does follow a rather similar style to the Series 11 publicity images, also released on art card, with the previous Steelbook release with a paper band running along the middle, including of course Bradley Walsh, Tuss and Coleman-Dip Gill, and Jodie Whittaker with the white background and of course the vortex faded into the costume, which nicely has also been used within the design of the menus as well as the disc art of course on this release. There are in fact rather high quality postcards with Doctor Who on the back of course with the complete series 12 and the continuation of the vortex, so to be honest you could put them up on your wall if you so wish, have a little collage of the Doctor Who companions, and yeah, I'm happy to see them included. Also included is another piece of paper with the Doctor Who logo on one side with a colourful vortex, and then at the opposite side we have your disc guide featuring all 5 discs on this product and basically stating what is on each disc, the episode lists and a brief description of each story, as well as listing the special features that you will find on that disc, which is a very good job that this piece of paper has been included, because without it I wouldn't know where to start with the special features. Do I start with the 4-minute closer looks or the 2-minute look back on Doctor Who Series 11? Honestly, a massive help, but joking aside, it's actually good that we do have an episode list, as I do believe there was a few Steelbooks in the past that didn't have them, which was ridiculous. So now talking about the thing that we are all here for, it is of course the artwork itself, a massive upgrade compared to that of the Series 11 Steelbook, and it's great to actually see the 13th Doctor have some decent cover art given to her, because I feel like the previous releases have just been placeholder images, they've not been too exciting, and it's lovely to have a piece of artwork like this that actually makes the 13th Doctor look very dramatic and worth watching. So we have the 13th Doctor here looking off into the distance in a rather dramatic way, with of course her hair being brushed off to the side, and then the other character that they've decided to put on the front is of course Sacha Dhawan as the Master, as we did see throughout Spyfall, the opening 2-parter of the series, and of course the Timeless Children, the Series 12 finale, rubbing his hands together, no doubt plotting something evil. I absolutely love the colour palette that has been used on this Steelbook overall, the series of different yellows, reds and oranges, making the 13th Doctor and the Master almost look like they've stepped outside during a sunset or golden hour, or perhaps on a more depressing note, the burning cinders of Gallifrey as seen within the later half of this series. Of course, due to this being a Steelbook and we have that metally design underneath, of course the silvers and the whites, those slightly lighter colours emphasise the darker areas of the face even more. So we have this rather thick black colour that has been applied underneath the chin, as well as around the different strands of hair, bringing out those details, and then equally the lovely contrast added over the top of this yellow glow surrounding Jodie's shoulders, as well as the different strands of hair coming around the side. It really makes the detail pop, especially when it comes to the facial expression. Of course we have the 13th Doctor looking ominously into the distance, perhaps a lovely vibrant glowing sun as the sky goes all lovely and orange on a peaceful summery evening. Or equally, maybe the burning cinders of Gallifrey, as everybody she once knew is dying. Equally, we have the Master behind, looking rather menacing indeed, almost staring down the camera lens, and we have him of course rubbing his hands together. Equally, some lovely detail has been used to capture the facial expression, and of course that almost purpley tint that has been used to bring out his hair, and we have a great likeness to Sacha. Equally for Jodie as well, a really lovely design, and I love the way we have the hair swooping around to the side. The background also has a lovely series of colours, almost like a water splash. Of course, you have this white glow coming up from one side, and then equally there at the very top, we also have a few darker colours running up to the corners of the Steelbook cover, and we even have a few splashes of colour in there as well, almost making the cover art look like an oil painting. And then moving down to the lower half of the cover, we have the continuation of the 13th Doctor, revealing a few more details of the costume. This time round, the lovely rainbow design that is featured on the jumper has almost been drowned out by the colour palette of the rest of the art itself. This time round, those greens and blues have been swapped out for this orangey purple design, which again continues around the 13th Doctor's shoulder. And of course, we have this almost sparked metal design coming off the bottom, almost looking like somebody's doing a little bit of welding down there. And then equally we have a little bit of a hint at Sacha Dhawan's Master costume. It is a shame that we don't really have too much of that on display, but I'm presuming that these purpley colours that are used within the lower half are perhaps suggesting his costume that is overall quite purple in its design. Flipping around now to the opposite side, of course we get the continuation of the orangey yellow theme. However, this time we have the companions of the 13th Doctor, Yasmin Khan, Ryan Sinclair, and of course Graham O'Brien. A lovely display of the Fam, once again continuing that sparked design there at the very bottom, along the continuation of the purple. I think that all of the likenesses are absolutely brilliant and very sharp indeed. I think in particular Mandip Gill is also pretty standout. I absolutely love the highlights, especially around the sides of the face and the hair waving off to the side with the different strands. And equally, as I mentioned earlier, the background isn't just a solid colour. We have a lovely, almost artsy oil painting design with lots of different splashes of colour, especially around the top half here where we have a darker, more rusted design, and then we have this lighter side coming off as almost a glow coming from the top corner, which is then as a result reflecting upon the companions' faces and bringing out those further details, including the strands of hair, of course, at the top of Graham's head, as well as a few creases and wrinkles to show his ageing. Equally, we do also have a little bit of detailing at the bottom in relation to the costumes. Of course, you have Bradley Walsh in his rather nice shirt that has been detailed with a checkered design, as well as even the football badge in there as well. And equally, we have a rather standard design of costume that has been used for Yaz and Ryan. So in conclusion, yes, absolutely brilliant. This is how you do a steelbook. A lovely choice of colour, great representation of the different characters throughout the series, and more importantly, it does Doctor Who Series 12 justice. It makes the series look dramatic and exciting, and overall it is a product that I would purchase for the cover art alone, something of which that couldn't apply to the Doctor Who Series 11 steelbook. And for the sake of argument, trying to prove my point, here is a comparison between the Series 11 and Series 12 steelbook. I get why some may like this cover, and it is effective to an extent. I like the way that we have the mysterious silhouettes of the Doctor and the companions, and I love the choice of colour of having the sun and the silhouette of the sun almost rising up behind the hills. I think that looks all very cool. However, it's just not that fun. It's not that exciting. Then we have on the other hand the Series 12 steelbook, which to me is worth purchasing. It looks decent, it looks exciting, and it stands out on the shelf. Turning around to the inside of the steelbook, of course, as per usual, each side of the case is used to hold all 5 discs for the set. However, on the inside of the case we do also have a further image of the 13th Doctor and her companions, once again from the Space for All publicity shoot that was used with the white background, and of course a hint of the colourful vortex coming up from the bottom. And of course, if you're not sick of the sight of that cover art already, here we have it again, this time round printed on the discs. Now, unlike some of the previous new series collector sets, they've not done different characters on the different discs or anything like that. It is exactly the same cover art for all 5, and we have the Doctor Who logo, the disc number, and of course the episode listing there at the very bottom. So now turning to take a look at the media that is presented across all 5 discs of the Doctor Who Complete Series 12 box set. Starting off with the positives, a massive thank you to everybody who emailed the BBC DVD and Blu-ray department and basically bugging them enough to put Resolution, the New Year's Day special, on this release, because when this box set was originally announced, the Resolution special wasn't featured. It was going to start off with Spyfall and not include Resolution, meaning that for those of us that collect the steelbooks, we would have needed to have on the shelf the Series 11 steelbook, the standard regular DVD or Blu-ray for Resolution singly, and then of course the Series 12 steelbook. So overall it wouldn't have really looked very streamlined, and it's nice to see the episode included on this box set, simply so Resolution actually finally belongs to a season as opposed to kind of being within a limbo in the very middle. So it's great to see that included, and of course we have all of the episodes in full HD glory, which, especially when the 13th Doctor era does have modern 21st century directing alongside some brilliant brand new camera lenses that have never been used in Doctor Who before. It's great to see that actually presented within the full Blu-ray format. However, sadly, that is where all of the compliments end, as now we turn onto the special features, which I think by this point we are just getting used to, basically the bare minimum. However, this box set seems to feature even less than the bare minimum. It starts off rather positively because we have a rather in-depth look at Resolution on the first disc. I do believe the behind the scenes is around 12 minutes long, or at least 15, something like that. It's a good detailed look at the story. Yes, it's not like Doctor Who Confidential, it's on a much smaller scale, however it's still a decent length. Once you've proceeded beyond Resolution, it all goes downhill from there, because each episode has a closer look Confidential documentary. However, they're only 4 to 6 minutes long. The vast majority of them are only 4 minutes long, and basically even then it's the main protagonists simply discussing what happens within a certain scene in the story, which to me has always seemed a little bit pointless, so that in itself is not particularly too exciting. However, they're an alright watch if you so wish to do so, if you've not seen them on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel as of yet, because quite a lot of the content has in fact been published on there over the past few months. Also have an inclusion of a few commentaries on there, however from what I've heard, once again they're not particularly too exciting, and that is it. That is literally it. And I think it really annoys me, because all you would need to do is let somebody loose within the BBC TV archive for probably less than the half of an afternoon, and they will be able to find more content to put on this box set. Very easily, you could find interviews with Jodie Whittaker. I think both Jodie Whittaker and Bradley Walsh appeared on BBC Radio, either Radio 1 or Radio 2, around the broadcast of the series. Stick that on the box set. I'm aware that Segan Akinola recorded a number of interviews discussing his music compositions for the series that were released online when they announced the Series 12 soundtrack released by Silver Screen, which I have already reviewed. Check that out if you haven't already. However, they haven't done that. Equally, you could have even put on, I think there was an interview with Graham Norton as a part of the Graham Norton Show. Stick that on, not necessarily the full episode, just the little interview, and kind of give us the glimpses into the TV archive, the likes of what we get within the classic season box sets. It will be very easy to do. I'm aware that they probably couldn't put on the complete season trailers, because the vast majority of them in fact use music that aren't composed for Doctor Who. It's an actual artist that has made them, so they would no doubt need to get rights to publish that on a physical copy piece of media. So I understand why they're not featured, but other than that, we don't really have anything. It's certainly not a product that you would purchase for the special features alone, which is rather funny considering that one of the main selling points of the complete season Blu-rays for the classic series is very much the special features and the episodes themselves merely being the tip of the iceberg, and there is so much more to discover. With this, it's the opposite way round. So in conclusion, that is that. That's my review of the Doctor Who Complete Series 12 Limited Edition Amazon exclusive Steelbook, featuring some absolutely gorgeous artwork. By far, the best thing about this product is the artwork. It is a vast improvement upon the Series 11 release. It looks visually exciting, and it's something of which that is worth purchasing because it stands out on the shelf and it is everything that a Steelbook should be. And more importantly, it does Doctor Who Series 12 justice and makes it look exciting. Equally, we've got the art cards in there as well, which are made out of a high quality cardboard and feature some decent images of the main protagonists and are a nice inclusion to bulk out the set. Equally, the discs themselves, it would have been nice to maybe have some independent art for each disc, maybe to represent each story, have Nikola Tesla on one or something like that, very much like how we've seen within some of the previous new series steelbooks that have been released over the past few years. However, sadly, that is where the compliments end, because this is a product, if you take anything from this review, and I mean this, do not purchase this product for £49.99. Even if you are a massive fan of the 13th Doctor, £50 is absolutely ridiculous for simply 10 episodes of Doctor Who and no special features, considering that they are also releasing other new series of Doctor Who around the same time for around £25. And yes, I get it, it's the most recent season, but to me putting a steelbook at 50 quid is money grabbing and quite unfair. So more than anything, even if it means looking on a daily basis on Amazon, much like how I have been doing for the past few weeks in order to get this steelbook at the cheapest possible price, much like how I did with Doctor Who Series 11, just check, and as soon as it goes down to maybe £35 or below that, then I recommend purchasing, because this is not worth the £50, even if you absolutely adore the 13th Doctor and Doctor Who Series 12, because at the end of the day, all of the episodes are still available on BBC iPlayer. There no doubt will be for the next few years, as the other series have been for the past few years as well. But yeah, it's got some decent cover artwork, some lovely art cards, so if you want a product that looks nice to add to the shelf, then yes, by all means buy it. However, not for that full recommended retail price. So as I mentioned at the very start of this review, if you are interested by my opinions of the 13th Doctor episodes individually, go and check out my episode reviews. I have reviewed all of the 13th Doctor episodes so far, and do of course stay tuned on the Host Productions for brand new Doctor Who content each and every week, from product reviews, big finish reviews, and much, much more. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.